stand off. And I want to bring in Paulina now. She is the Director of Hispanic Engagement at Turning Point USA, which is an organization that wants a responsible immigration program. All right, she's coming to us from Portland, Oregon. So I want to ask you a series of questions, and you tell me your opinion and how and what's based on, okay? The first thing is, am I wrong in overstating or stating that there's big money behind moving these migrants from Central America up to Tijuana? Am I wrong?
Absolutely not. You're 100% correct. 100%.
Who's providing the money?
So I actually found a great article on influencewatch.org. So Pueblo Sin Fronteras has been the organization that has claimed responsibility for bringing not just this caravan, but thousands of illegals to the United States beforehand. But what they do is they're receiving their funds from an organization out of Chicago called La Familia Latina Unida.
All right, hold it. A little slower now. The organization in Chicago is called what?
La Familia Latina Unida.
Okay, so the family of united Latins.
Correct.
Okay.
Latinos.
Chicago-based.
Nonprofit.
Nonprofit, 5014, run by a woman named Emma Lozano. Who's Emma Lozano?
So the founder of the organization is actually Elvira Arlano. But she was the one who founded it. She's very left-wing, and she is very much so for illegal immigration in the United States. So that's what these organizations, Pueblo Sin Fronteras, was a project, you could say, and they are for bringing immigrants here into the United States via illegal.
So they want open borders. They want to bring everyone in from South and Central America that wants to come to the USA.
Absolutely.
Okay. So they're based in Chicago, and they have a relationship with Pueblo Sin Fronteras, which is based in Honduras, correct? They're like sister agencies.
Correct. And in fact, that's not their only one. They also have Centros Sin Fronteras. So these organizations and what they're doing is, I do believe that they are politically motivated. You had the Honduran and the Mexican government both coming out telling their people, don't get involved with these organizations. You had Matt Gaetz out of Florida actually showing footage of these activists paying people to join the caravan, specifically women and children. You can find that on Twitter and in various news outlets on the internet. But they're exploiting human life for political reasons, and it's wrong. And if we as American people don't take a stand against it, then we're just as evil as they are.
Okay, so you say that not only are they providing buses and food and tents and everything else, but they're actually paying migrants to get on the buses and come here. All right.
Yeah, they're paying women and children too.
Right, because they need that other than the optic of young Latin men. Now,
yes.
When I said a month ago when this began that I believe George Soros was behind it, because his Open Society Foundation wants open borders as well. They're simpatico, okay? I didn't know that in 2009, Soros gave this organization in Chicago $2.5 million. Is that true?
Absolutely. And you know, George Soros has no interest in the United States. He's a globalist, not a nationalist, and that's to be noted.
All right. Now, we don't know from 2009 to 2018 how much more money has come in from his operation to the Chicago operation, do we?
No, we don't.
All right.
And what he's doing is he's donating to other smaller organizations that might make private donations. So what he's done is he's made it very difficult to dig up the evidence. But if you do the digging, you can find it. And I will say that social media has actually done a very good job of getting around the censorship that we're coming up against on Twitter and Google to find this information. So it's been kind of a struggle getting this message out there. But if it weren't for people like you doing these interviews and getting this word out there, we wouldn't have that knowledge.
Because the national media just won't cover it at all, correct?
Absolutely. They won't. And if you do talk about it, you're called racist. I've been called racist.
Absolutely.
I've been told, race traitor, you name it. It's really sad.
So the big national news organizations, including Fox News, they don't want any part of exposing the pipeline of money that goes down into Central America and Mexico that allows thousands of people to come here. They don't want to expose that at all.
Correct.
Is there a reason?
I think at the end of the day, and what I found is that unfortunately in politics, people care more about power than they do the sanctity of human life. And I think it comes down to, if you can control the people, if you can control what they're thinking, then you can control their vote. And the vote essentially in turn is power. And that's what these people are all about, is power.
Okay, so they want to flood the zone, open borders to the United States to get more Latin American migrants here, so they'll vote Democrat, and the press is on board with that.
Yeah, you have pewhispanic.org that came out and stated that the #1 voting minority here in the United States is Hispanic Americans, specifically Mexicans.
Yeah, there's no question. And that has impacted Nevada and Arizona and Oregon.
Oregon, and now they're trying to flip Texas with Robert. I'll call him Robert because he changed his name to Beto, the Hispanic vote. But you're seeing what's happening, and I think in 2020 it's going to be really important. And basically in the election with President Trump and what he's doing right now, they are totally going to be exploiting the Hispanic population. And that's why Turning Point stood up this platform, is because there is such thing as a conservative and a Republican Hispanic. And I think that voice has been silenced.
All right, we want everybody to go to turningpointusa.com. They're covering the story about the migrants in a way that's factual. And I want you to check in with us weekly, if you would, just, what you're finding out. The most important thing now is to find out if George Soros continued his grants to the organization in Chicago for the past 9 years, La Familia Latina Unida. All right, that's the Chicago organization that is funding the Migrant Caravan through the Honduran. It's almost like a money laundering thing here. It's going all over the place. So
can I just add something real quick too?
Sure.
These organizations say that they care about human life, but here they are exploiting these people and pushing them through the most dangerous parts in the world, which is at the Mexico border.
No doubt about it.
There's trafficking, there's murder. I mean, TJ just broke homicide records, and these people are now coming up against angry, violent protests, and it's because of these organizations. They're not helping anyone.
Anna, we really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll continue our reporting with Turning Point as events warrant.